I'll tell you how much the best RPGs have earned at the moment, without affecting those that are constantly mentioned everywhere. For example, such as The Witcher, Diablo, The Elder Scrolls, and others. But if you really want an issue about super hits in the RPG genre, write about it in the comments. And now I'll tell you about the lesser known, but very good games. It's Be Indie. Enjoy watching. Fellseal. Arbiter's Mark is a turn-based tactical role-playing game in a steampunk setting. The story takes place in a world that has been torn apart. Here, the first invincible immortals, who were able to resist the evil entity, gained power. To protect the peace, they organized a council, designed to keep order in the kingdom. To maintain balance in the world, they resort to the services of ordinary mortals, the Arbiters, so that they, being on Earth, hunt for those who can harm the world. The player will take control of an executor named Kairi, who will lead her army through a dangerous adventure. From the very beginning, the game offers intense combat. Opponents use many different tactics, because of which the player will have to constantly try, change tactics, combine units, and experiment with batches of troops. The game is amazing with a wide range of specializations, represented by knights, rogues, mages, mercenaries, doctors, mechanics, merchants, and rangers. There is even a demon knight class. The game does not prohibit one unit from having several specializations at the same time. The game costs $29.99 and has earned $2, 3 million. Atom RPG Trudograd is the sequel to the acclaimed RPG video game inspired by the Wasteland and Fallout series. The events take place in the post-apocalyptic USSR, which was destroyed by a nuclear war with Western countries. You, in turn, take control of an employee of the secret organization Atom and fulfill your duty to protect humanity after the disaster. 2 years have passed since the end of the first part. You were promoted in rank and began to issue more serious tasks. One of these is to get into a huge city that lives its own life, accustomed to the wasteland, and find a specialized device that can change the world. At the beginning of the project, you are recommended to familiarize yourself with the previous work of the studio, and also, in case of familiarization with the background, transfer all saves, including the protagonist's leveling and actions. In Trudograd, the classical mechanics of representatives of this genre is derived. On your way, you will find many unfamiliar places, exploring every nook and cranny of an unfriendly world. Also, the main character can develop exclusive skills and abilities that will directly affect your battles with opponents. But one of the most important components is the system of dialogues. Answer the characters, find out information, or just chat, trying to find out interesting details about the location. But be careful in your actions. Your actions will affect the plot of the project, changing many points of the story. The game costs $10.99 and has earned $580,000. The world of the game is created from classic role-playing elements. In Tyranny, we decide on our own which locations will surround us around while the storyline drags us. The universe of the game was captured by the despot Kairos. You can take the side of the opposition, make him submit to you, and undermine his entire control system, because your hero is an executioner, a fighter, a judge, and the main character all rolled into one. On the other hand, you can take his side, start chasing other characters, adjusting the system to Kairos. You decide. The plot system of Tyranny adapts to the player after his actions. Initially, we are planning schemes for getting out of the situation when everyone around us tells us that tyranny has descended on the world. After that, we meet several subjects of the ruler's servants who say that everything will fall into place, that freedom is limited. The whole of Tyr, the game world, will obey your decision, but don't expect Kairos' troops to be on your side if you go against him. The game's combat mechanics are consistent, but don't expect everything to be predictable and straightforward. Enemies will be able to attack suddenly, surround you, take you by surprise. Yes, a tactical pause will help you, but in this fantasy world of the Middle Ages, it will not be easy to fend off a squad of professional fighters in a gorgeously traced territory. The player takes on the role of a high-ranking servant of a mad tyrant who has seized power over the world. Everything else depends only on his actions. Adhere to moral principles or fight for a place under the sun. Do good when it is forbidden, or follow the instructions of the manual. Every quest, every step and decision affects the game world, and the result depends only on the user. The gameplay is presented in the form of a three-dimensional role-playing game with a top-down view. Other features include a well-thought-out combat system and an abundance of skills and spells, as well as high-quality graphics and an atmospheric storyline. Each restart provides 30-40 hours of story, the ending of which is chosen by the player. The game costs $29.99 and has earned $4, 8 million. The Dungeon of Naheulbeuk, The Amulet of Chaos is a humorous adventure set in the Naheulbeuk universe. John Lang wrote a comedy series with the theme of RPG parodies and heroic adventures. The developers decided to create a game based on the universe of the author. In a fantasy-themed dungeon, bumbling characters try to get their hands on treasure. The RPG has complex tactical elements, with a dose of humor, unexpected surprises, and ridiculous encounters. Heroes, despite different characters and multiple disagreements, will have to endure each other in order to complete the mission. A valuable treasure is hidden in the depths of the dungeon, and the heroes go in search of it, having gone through a difficult path. The dungeon consists of different locations, from caves, huge quarters belonging to Lord Zangdar, a goblin park, and a tavern. In the process, you must avoid traps and solve difficult puzzles. You have 7 characters to choose from that complement the skills. Ranger, Dwarf, Elf, Mage, Thief, and Ogre have their own skill tree, which improves their abilities and equipment. The player will be able to choose an additional companion from 3 possible to join the adventure. Battles are carried out in turn-based mode using mechanics between characters. The game has a difficulty system with easy battles in the story mode and difficult tactical decisions in nightmare modes. In the process, you will have to fight with more than 100 different enemies. Fighting in epic boss battles, the user uses a strategic approach and objects located in the environment and destructible. The game costs $34.99 and has earned $3, 6 million. Pillars of Eternity 2. Deadfire is the sequel to the acclaimed classic RPG Pillars of Eternity, created by developers from the legendary Obsidian Entertainment Studio, whose employees in their time had a hand in creating quite a few cult isometric camera RPGs. The official release of this game came in mid-2018. Having played enough with a variety of genres and tired of all sorts of directions in the world of RPGs, Obsidian Entertainment decided not to reinvent the wheel a second time and embarked on what it does best, which is to create great classic role-playing video games. In this sequel, we are waiting for the continuation of the story about a certain guardian who is able to reach souls and guide heroes on the path of truth. The graphic wrapper remained practically unchanged. The only thing is that the textures have become clearer, and the colors have become brighter and more saturated. The changes did not affect the role system. Everything here remained in its place, nothing was lost, but a new story appeared, taking a total of more than 50 hours of real time. Hundreds of interesting quests, many megabytes of dialogue script make the game world even more exciting and authentic. The game is replayable, and all thanks to the advanced role-playing system. The choice of character here is not limited to only one generation of appearance. By creating your hero, you create a real personality, and what parameters you set at the start will affect the relationship of game characters to your hero throughout the game. A new region will be available for players, Deadfire. Here too, there are ports and own quests that you can complete with your team and companions. Assemble a team of companions who will be able to develop their classes and abilities regardless of their mission. Improve the ship, try to upgrade the team, and complete the game like no one has ever done before. The game costs $39.99 and has earned $8 million. Children of Morta is an action RPG based on family values and kinship ties. The game plunges into the history of the Bergson family, who have long guarded the sacred mountain of Mort. The mountain is a source of strength and prosperity for the inhabitants of neighboring villages. As soon as she is struck by a curse, the guardians act as a defense. You have to become one of the 6 members of the Bergson family. Each hero is unique in his own way and has his own means of defense and attack in his arsenal. Some excel in close combat, armed with a hammer or a pair of daggers. Others are excellent ranged warriors. Not a single member of the family is like the rest in terms of technique and fighting style. You will definitely find yours. Most importantly, remember what you are fighting for. The Bergson family are heroes saving the world, but each of them fights first of all for love, devotion, and well-being in his family. The gameplay is based on traveling through various locations, fighting the forces of evil and improving the skills of the hero. A distinctive feature is an individual style of development for each player, which corresponds to his character and image. The plot is not linear. Some moves return the heroes to their own home, thus unlocking additional knowledge and keys for the next journey. The game is designed in pixel art style, which adds color and vivacity to the world of Children of Morta. It is possible to create a local or network co-op. The game costs $21.99 and has earned $5. 2 million. Last Epoch is an action-adventure game with a deep leveling system in a dark style, similar to the gameplay of the legendary Diablo. The view of the camera is also taken from there. It is isometric, for a better view of the areas around. A story campaign for one person, multiplayer is not provided, offers to explore the rich world of Iterra, in various picturesque places and dark dungeons. He keeps a lot of different oddities, secrets, a lot of demons and other fiends. The protagonist is invited to create from scratch, choosing one of the 15 proposed classes. A rich leveling branch allows you to choose your own unique build with a variety of combinations of skills, buffs, and passive skills. This makes the passage as varied as possible and provides room for creativity and creating the strangest combinations. Also, an interesting feature is that after pumping any active skill, and there are more than 30 of them for each class, it can be further developed because it also has a separate branch with various bonus effects. The game costs $34.99 and has earned $9, 2 million. Solasta, Crown of the Magister is an RPG based on Dungeons & Dragons rules. The gameplay is presented in a classic isometric style, where you need to control 4 heroes. Each of the characters has unique abilities and characteristics. With the help of their individual characters, the characters behave differently in battle. At the beginning of the adventure, Solasta will offer to create your own protagonists, providing a choice of race, class, personality, and a choice of skills. Create a squad that will best suit your tactics. You need to manage a whole squad with the ability to switch between heroes on the go. The protagonist will go through ancient ruins, deep dungeons, looking for legendary treasures, and unraveling the mystery of a devastating cataclysm. Most enemies hide in the dark, but some are attracted to the light. The gameplay is largely based on playing with light, which most monsters are afraid of. Combat is presented in a turn-based style. All duel maps contain an interactive environment. You can bring down walls or bridges on enemies. The world is a sandbox that you can use for your own purposes. Locations contain many obstacles where you need to jump over platforms, climb to the upper tiers, dodge enemies, and drop heavy objects on top of them. Use the gaps to push opponents. Narrow corridors will not allow large monsters to pass, which can be used as a tactical advantage. The game costs $39.99 and has earned $11 million. Wildermyth, a role-playing game with procedurally generated levels where the player builds his own story with the help of a moral choice system that carries various consequences for the world. The gameplay of Wildermyth is that you need to assemble a group of 5 heroes, consisting of farmers, parasites, and peasants, making them legendary knights and brave heroes. Battles take place on interactive arenas with a variety of fantasy creatures. The gameplay is inspired by board games and is tied to the individual characteristics of each member of the team. Characters age, transform, fall in love, and make tough decisions. Depending on the chosen path, the characters will be with each other in various ways, be friends, show sympathy or enmity. Each hero has their own arc and biography. Events unfold in the kingdom of Papercraft, the Yondering Lands, inhabited by insect dragons and Lovecraftian undead. The appearance of the characters will change as the story progresses. For example, trusting the Wolf God, a number of unique abilities will appear that give incredible powers and some buffs that affect the appearance of the character. Wildermyth encourages tactical decisions and the use of the environment to your advantage. The global map is divided into several areas that need to be protected from monsters. After the area is captured, it is required to strengthen its defense by building barricades or various traps. A feature of the gameplay is the death mechanic. It provides a choice between self-sacrifice, but killing the monster, or losing a limb, but continuing to fight. This feature is available only once per game. The game costs $24.99 and has earned $6, 3 million. Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous is an RPG about fighting demons. Here the player will have to become a legendary warrior, and at the same time understand the true price of good and evil. The story begins with a rift in the abyss. Crowds of terrible demons have escaped from their captivity, and now they want to enslave this world. The main character and his team of brave fighters against evil will resist them. In the fight against evil spirits, the hero can become anyone, noble paladin or cruel necromancer. It's up to the player to decide. In Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous, the character will be created absolutely unique. 25 classes and 12 races provide thousands of possible combinations of spells and other abilities. To destroy evil spirits, 2 game modes are available. The first takes place in real time, with the ability to pause, and the second takes place step by step. The user will either command his squad from the outside, giving instructions and planning everything strategically, or he will become shoulder to shoulder with his brothers, and from the first person turn the demons into dust. It will be difficult to fight crowds of enemies on your own, so up to 10 partners can come to the aid of the hero. True, first he will have to earn their friendship by doing their errands. Each decision made will have its consequences, which will eventually lead to one of the appearances of the hero. You can become both a shining angel and a powerful dragon, or a deceptive trickster. The character's strength will also be affected by the tools he finds. By intelligently combining your weapons with pumped abilities, you can create a truly deadly warrior. The game costs $49.99 and has earned $19 million. The Gloomy Dawn in Grim Dawn showed that the fabric of the created universe was too weak, so Cairn took rogues, bandits, mages, and a bunch of all sorts of creatures and undead into his arms. Dark times fell on the territory of Cairn, but after that, people did not give up trying to attack the enemies and called aliens into the world. They opened portals for them and let in a few individuals to receive the ether. It is clear that special prisons were created for opponents from another world. Under the influence of the ether, people became an order of magnitude stronger, but completely lost control of themselves. They were sent forward and with a song, if only they would kill and rob everything in their path, gradually freeing the world from aliens and all evil spirits. However, people stopped dying under the influence of the ether and called themselves the ethereal race. After that, some of the most capable people were placed in a special prison created from obelisks, the only creatures that are not affected by damage from the ether. Here our hero begins his journey. Our task is to destroy the main source of the ether, so that the opponents begin to fight real enemies. And after that, our capabilities will be to unite with the undead and creatures, if only they take what they need and leave Cairn forever. Inside the gameplay, the main thing will be farming and extracting resources that fall out of opponents and rarely roll around on their own. It's a third-person RPG that's sure to keep you hooked for a long time. The game costs $24.99 and has earned $33 million. Baldur's Gate 3, a continuation of the cult turn-based RPG in which you take control of a small squad of unique characters. Each member of the party is of great importance for tactics and represents an individual with his own character, history, and abilities. Baldur's Gate 3 invites you to explore the large open world of the Forgotten Realm. The plot does not act as a direct continuation of the previous part. However, Illithids appear in the narrative. They are mind flayers. The story begins with the fact that the hero is imprisoned by these evil creatures. The game is based on the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons and takes place in the Forgotten Realms universe. Before the start of the campaign, you can create a playable character. There are 15 races to choose from, each of which has its own characteristics. However, you can choose from ready-made heroes who have a written biography and certain skills at the start. The squad of the protagonist consists of 4 people. As you progress through the campaign, you will meet new heroes that you can take to the party. The difference from its predecessor is that the fights in Baldur's Gate 3 are completely turn-based, while the previous games in the series were based on a tactical pause. The player can control each hero in the party and interact with the environment and teammates. You can enhance weapons and attacks with fire or poison. By using the stealth skill, there is a chance to avoid the battle. Extinguish torches and candles to darken the area. Moving through the dark areas of the location, you can quietly bypass the patrols. By using a special spell, Blackout, it is possible to plunge the area into darkness, depriving the enemy of visibility. Make a silent kill or go unnoticed. The gameplay is varied and encourages any tactical decisions. The game costs $39.99 and has earned $52 million. Disco Elysium, RPG in which the detective must use his skills to conduct a unique investigation. The player will have to interrogate well-developed characters, investigate murders, and, if desired, take bribes. You can become both the savior of the city and the worst disaster for all mankind. The game provides an unprecedented freedom of choice. The detective can both use his own eloquence, intimidate and persuade, and resort to more effective and visual methods. But this dance is not limited to violence alone, because you can sing karaoke, write poetry, tear the floor to shreds, or you can even know the meaning of life. All 24 skills are completely different, allowing you to create different combinations to suit your own playstyle, and you can work out the image in detail for role-playing. Fortunately, an extensive wardrobe of 80 items of clothing also helps with this. And let's not forget about the tools, pistols, flashlights, a tape recorder, and even several different psychoactive drugs. And the icing on the cake, 60 thoughts for reflection in the thought cabinet. The dialogue system is very well designed and makes you believe that real people live in the game world, and not static bots. Characters can be helped, or you can pit each other. You can even fall in love with them. There would be a desire. The dialogue system of the game allows you to create whatever your heart desires. The same wide freedom of action is given in the gameplay itself. Firstly, there is nothing superfluous and forbidden here. Death, taxes, disco, and amorous affairs make up the classic list of a seasoned old-school detective. The player can go from investigating a massacre to kicking chairs and investigating petty cases. Exploration, manipulation, bribery. All this is available in a huge open world, from beaches to slums. The game costs $39.99 and has earned $61 million. Divinity: Original Sin 2. Definitive Edition invites you on a challenging journey. Hard times have come. Now it is difficult to decide who is honest with you, and who is cunning and ready to become a traitor at any moment. It's a pretty interesting and well thought out story. It is interesting to play, thanks to the variety of gameplay, the mass of interesting finds of the authors, excellent design and graphics. The graphics in the game have become more realistic for some other world. There is nothing superfluous on the screen, and procasts, magical effects, and the death of other heroes look better. Items that enhance your character not only add stats or health, but also the grandeur inherent in your character's background. By the way, at the very beginning of the game, we learn that the Divine is already dead. To do this, we form a squad of 4 characters, among which our friends may be, and go to the eternal PvP arena in the open world. A third-person role-playing Divinity with an amazing story has several endings, but as they say, getting to each one is almost impossible. Our main task is to become a god in this world. If the Divine owned the relics, and this is already a versatile plot, then we must take possession of the same items. If he wielded spells, then we must do the same. However, in the process of passing through Divinity: Original Sin 2, we will see a new craft, a new system of spells and combat, so do not think that the plot will come first. Since the game is multiplayer, PvP will become your favorite pastime. At the beginning of Divinity, we will be asked to create our character without a special appearance editor. Human, dwarf, undead, and 3 more classes. The choice will directly affect the passage of the entire plot. In addition, 12 schools of magical skill have been added to the game, which means that more than 200 spells and combinations are available at any time in the game. Become a god in a third-person turn-based RPG, where the key to victory is not skill, but cleverness and cunning. The game costs $44.99 and has earned $120 million. Thanks to Stepan for supporting this release. This is such a rich and interesting top. Write in the comments which game you liked more.